Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. I've been dreading doing this, but it has to be done. The time has come. I'm filming this is Wednesday. Obviously I've got a bad day tomorrow with the funeral and that, and I thought I can post this first thing tomorrow so that you've got a video. Now I'm hoping to do what Jim Durrant would do, which is gently ease this out of the pot. So far so good. And tease off some of the old media. Not too much, just gently tease some of the old media so that we're hardly disturbing the roots at all. Now if you look at the way this has been done, look at the amount of gap. This is not compacted at all. And this plant has been in this pot 2 years, that I do know. So obviously this moss is starting to go. But rather than replace it and completely disturb the roots, what Jim would do is gently tease out some of the media, like so. And that's it, no more than that, just a bit. And then put it in a new pot with new media underneath, around the sides. So let's see if we can do it. We would put it in the middle like that, over to one side, and gently fold the new media down the side of the pot. Watched him do this several times, so there's a video on YouTube with him doing it. Jim Durrant, look it up. When that was filmed he was working at McBean's, he's at Mather's Foundation now. Now the idea is to just give this plant enough room for another year's growth, after which it will get completely repotted. So this is to give that new growth room to grow, for some of those outside roots to continue growing, and that's it. There is some air gaps in there, but there were before, so I'm not particularly worried. So that's one done. The only thing I will have to do is I will have to get black pots for these and not get the labels muddled up. They are in fact the same hybrid, so they had to look it up for me. And it's Oncidium tippling, and it is registered, but it was done from seed rather than cloning. And when you go from seed, you do get, just a minute, we got butterflies in the garden, 2 chasing each other around. I just need to see what they are. Too late gone. Speedy butterflies, let me rephrase that. Yeah, so it turned out that they were the same hybrid, but because they were done from seed, you get a lot of variety in what comes out. And I had a dark form and a light form. They looked like totally different hybrids, but they are in fact the same. So we obviously don't want to get the tags muddled up. It wouldn't matter. I just would like to know which is the dark form and which is the light form. That's for me. Crikey, the roots on that one. We will be doing even less with this one. That's it. Put the old media in with the new stuff, why don't you? That's a lovely root system for an odont. Tease the bottom out of it. See how it's falling out so easily? It's so loosely potted, and they obviously thrive on it. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, as they say. You know, that's how it's worked. Look, there's the previous repot. See the roots wrap round? That must have been in a very small pot, and now they've expanded into the new media. So, and that's what should happen again this time. They should expand into the new media. And the nice new growth that's pushing up there, this one, should again create a whole new set of roots. So just a little bit of teasing so that some of these roots will go straight into the new media loosely. That's it. That's all it's getting. Now the problem I've got is the bit of media I've got left. It depends how tight this is going to go in the pot. No, I need more moss. I just need to put a bit more moss in. That has not got enough moss in. You can see the sort of mix that this is coming out of, and it is quite heavy on the moss, and I don't want to effectively change the media. I want the plant to effectively feel as though it's just got more room, not a change of media in any shape or form. And this is the type of moss they use at Mather's, so it's not a change of moss type. I don't know what brand of small bark they use, but the perlite I use is the same size, so that's the same. Whether the bark's the same or not, I don't know, but it's the same size. I do know that. There we are then. Just need this more moss in the mix. That's better. It's all done by sight, this, not measuring or anything. I know what their media look like. I have a mental image that I came away with. I should have taken a picture, shouldn't I? I'm relying on memory, but I know what the media looked like there. There was a pile of it, probably 1.5 meters long by 1 meter deep, in a giant one of these, absolutely giant version of this, and about that deep. And that was the repotting bench. Right then, so we'll gently put, now this is going in quite tight, this one, mainly because I haven't got a bigger pot. So I'm just going to put a little bit down there as I ease the plant in, because I'll have a job to get it in otherwise. And this is not going to work very well because, no, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go down in the shed and see if I've got a bigger pot. This pot is not big enough. This plant is substantially bigger than the previous one. I'll be back. Right, what I'm after is that, not necessarily that, yeah? So I'm going to have to use one of my wide shallow pots. I think that will be fine. Obviously I won't put so much in the bottom because the plant will go deeper. Now let's see if that works. Yes, that works. See, I needed an amount of space round the outside of the plant to be able to put the new media into. And in that previous pot there just wasn't enough room. So we're okay now. We can get media down the sides. So that's the back of the plant. Now we can push the plant back and get the rest of the media down the front, which is where the new growth is and where most of the new roots will come out. A bit of bad news today as well. Seems to just keep coming, doesn't it? I had to go up the post office to bank, basically, the Orchid Society stuff. I needed to pay it into the bank. And the lady in the post office seems to know everything that's going on. She's like one of those people that knows everything that's going on and everybody's business. And she just casually looked up and she said, "Oh, did you know the place next door to you's up for sale?" Well, no, I didn't. There's no sign up or anything. So at some point down the line, I'm going to have a new neighbour. And bearing in mind we've got shared access and everything, it could spell trouble. You know, neighbourly disputes are not uncommon. I could get some very nice people. I could get a family with 6 kids who spend all day charging around the houses, you know, including all over my bit. Unknown. But yeah, the house is on the market next door. As I said, I certainly didn't know. They haven't got a sign up, so it may be that they've asked not to. I don't know. But you know, it's a little disconcerting, you know, my relatively quiet life here, easy going and everything, could get quite disrupted. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? Right. Well, that's them done. Now all I've got to do is go and find some black pots. I haven't got any big ones in here at the moment. Again, they're down in the shed, but that was the idea. It was to just tease a little bit of the old media out and disturb the roots very little, and then get some new media around the outside for new roots to go into. And that's another year's worth before they get a much more thorough repot. And hopefully both of these new growths will bloom. There's no reason why they shouldn't. A little bit left over to go back in my bag. But yeah, that wider pot certainly did the job better than otherwise would have happened. This one's fitted in there quite nicely. So there we go. It was nerve-wracking on the grounds that that's £200 worth of orchids there, but you can only do what you do. You can't suddenly do something different and worry more and this, that and the other just because they have a high value. All you can do is do what you would normally do, which is what I've done. Now I will give them a water, and then they won't get watered for some time. The roots will get going and start to show new root tips around the outside, which you couldn't see before because they weren't in clear pots, whereas now they are. And I think that deserves a sip. I wasn't going to do anything else today, which is why I poured the wine out. And then I thought, well, I need to crack on with these. They've been on the list and I've been waiting for the moss. Well, I've got the moss now, so I thought I'll get on and do these. And then we have a video for Thursday while I'm away. And Friday will be the second of the week Project Orchid video on its scheduled day. So we'll get back onto the normal schedule. Okay, there we go. Two Odontoglossums, both called tippling, but a dark form and a light form. I will have put pop-ups up somewhere back in the video with the blooms on, providing I took pictures. I think I did. And yeah, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.